Good morning, good afternoon. It's afternoon here. I suppose if you live in Hawaii, it's good afternoon. Good morning. I wanted to come on because I've gotten a whole bunch of questions about programs and things like that. So I thought I would just kind of walk through what some of the stuff is that we are coming up with. We have all kinds of new things, and I don't know if anyone's here or not. All right. So, if you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, founder of Communication with All Life University, and today I'm going to answer some questions that we've gotten about the school and a few other things. And there's Leslie Williams. And I have to sit particularly close because I don't have Claudia with me today. So I'm not like squinting in there. And there's Cindy. Cindy, who's in our animal communication single certification, who's an amazing healer in her own right. So we have lots of new things coming up. And if you were on the live yesterday, then you heard the whole thing about being patient. The school seems like it's, oh my God, it's so long, no matter what it is that you're taking a class in. But the truth is, how long did it take you to learn French? How long did it take you to learn guitar? How long did it take you to learn how to ski? And if you want to be really good at it, how long did it take you to perfect skiing? And did you have a coach? And, it's all those things. Like, if you look at a lot of sports, aside from the learning it, then there's always a coach. So in many ways, the relationships that you build within the school become almost like accountability, because everybody gets so excited they just keep telling each other what they're doing and doing a lot of atta-girls and the occasional atta-boy. It becomes a really amazing tribe, but that's not the full word. It becomes just such a support team and a really sacred space. So there's that. And I wanted to start with some of the free things I have coming up, because those are really fun. And I had the list. And I had the list. And I had the list. Okay, I do. So first and foremost, we're going to have a number of webinars and Ask Joans for throughout the fall. And actually, the planning committee, we actually got into January and February, but we'll just kind of look at what's coming up that's free. So August, and you don't have to sit here and do anything. I'm just gonna blah. We're gonna have memes in there, and people will know. August 30th is a little chakra webinar. September 7th is a body, mind, spirit webinar. September 21st is Peace Through Grief webinar. Then there's a bunch of Ask Joans, which anybody can jump into. And then, we have Ask Jones September 29th, October 20th, November 16th, and December 15th. We have Energy Healing for Animals webinar November 4th. And then January 30th, I think we have a Nature and Wildlife webinar. So we have lots of things coming up. Oh, and we're going to do a little Nature and Wildlife Masterclass in November, but I forget. Of course, I can't find my phone. Let me look. We've got maybe that is the week of the 7th? I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyway, we have Yeah. So that's not the right one. Okay, anyway, we have lots and lots and lots. Here it is. So then, for those that are in, not just the free things, we have, so this is more of an elective. If you're in the big program, this would be in addition, and this would be the Silva method, which is such a great, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. It's starts September 5th and goes for 4 days, and then the next week, September 12th through the 15th. And I have to tell you, you know, I've been meditating for a million years, and so when I sit there and I think to myself, oh, I'm not connecting with this animal like I'd like to, I always just tell myself, okay, go deeper. Whenever students say to me, I'm not picking up on something from an animal. I'm sorry, I've got hair stuck in my lipstick, okay? And it's bugging me. Anyway, I always say, go deeper. If they feel like they're not connecting with an animal, I say just take a moment and go deeper. And people get it after they've practiced it with me for a while, but I suppose telling a stranger, just go deeper isn't exactly the best way. But I also didn't have a language for teaching meditation. I teach animal communication, and meditation might be the precursor to the whole thing. But ironically, what happens with the Silva method is it's just the most unbelievable way of going deeper and deeper and deeper. And she has a way of teaching medical intuition that goes well with the way that we teach it and perfect it. So the Silva method is the greatest blend on the planet just for quieting your mind in these crazy times and being able to really deepen the work. So that's what's coming up first. Then on September 12th, we have Marie Christine's Subtle Energies, and I know Cindy's taken that class, and that's a very fun class. That's considered an elective for the school. And we also have Animals in Transition starting up on September 28th. Now, Animals in Transition is going to be an entire, for the people that have graduated from the program, it'll be like graduate school. For the teachers, they get to do most of it. They get to do it. And then for, it's also going to be a single certification. So I'll talk about single certifications in a moment. So that is very exciting. It's 10 weeks of talking to animals that have crossed over. Then there's, that's Animals in Transition 1. Animals in Transition 2 will be later in the year, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. For the people that are in the big program, Animal Business Academy with live coaching with Tanya. And I'm going to jump into, I've got 4 of those calls. Okay, shoo. All right, anyway. The Animal Business Academy used to be a graduation that was here, that was in person. It was really fun. We did it in Seattle, we did it here. And then people didn't want to fly in a third time, so we did it so that there were, I just put everything online, all the exercises, and then over the years I've talked to so many amazing people that have business ideas, coaching, marketing. So a lot of those calls are in there, people that you could go study with further, work with further. It's pretty amazing. Then we also have Om acupressure, and that starts, I want to say, and Jill just came on, maybe Jill could type in the dates. Om is organs, meridians, and emotions. And it is Such a great class. We worked really hard on that, and it's really, I love that class. It gives you such a great baseline understanding for what the meridians, what the each of the meridians and the corresponding organs, and then the emotions that go with it. So um, we do 12 meridians. There's 14 meridians. One that is not included is the governing vessel, and the other is the conception vessel, and that's in a different class called yin and yang. But anyway, the live the live class is starts in September and goes for 12 weeks. Then we have the fall intensive, which is October 7th through the 15th, and it's 3 days of animal communication, 3 days of death, dying, and beyond, and 3 days of energy healing, where we really focus on energy fields and scalar wave, and it's a great deal of fun. And then ACE Animal Communication Level 1 starts on the 26th of October. Energy Healing for Animals starts on the 10th of November. And then on the 11th and 12th, we're doing a virtual Lost Animals retreat. And I think that I just walked through it all. Now, as far as certifications go, there's the big program. Then there's the Animal Communication Single Certification, which is just the focus is on animal communication, and not everybody is in that. Not everybody that comes here wants to learn EFT. So that's a great track. Another track is just doing the energy healing for animals, which really is amazing and fun. The other track is now something we're calling the Animal Ambassadorship, and that's something I didn't list here, which is the animal communication in sanctuaries, zoos, shelters, with lab animals that have been released, and with professional animals, whether they're horses at show, dogs doing agility, or dogs that are guide dogs, or horses in therapeutic riding centers. So that's a really profound subset of work. And you have to be pretty well experienced and know how to hold space and be in a particularly detached compassion place and trust your work, because in the case of the shelters, a lot of times it is literally life or death. Unfortunately, we've got a euthanization rate that's just off the charts in this country. Sanctuaries is a little bit different because these animals are coming from something terrible and ending up in a forever home, but sometimes they might not get along with the other pig, or they might not get along with the other sheep. So that becomes very important work, so that these places can really have harmony and be able to raise the funds they need to be able to keep these animals and do whatever work they do. Like, for example, the Gentle Barn is someone that, all the animals that are there become ambassadors for the work that they do, and then help youth at risk and veterans with PTSD. So some of these animals go on to do important work after being saved. So we've got to be able to support that. And of course, so the fall, I forgot to mention that AC Level 4 is animal communication in zoos, conservation centers, and rehab centers. So that's what's coming up in the fall, all those things. But that particular track of working on that level, and you could just focus it on the shelters, you could just focus it on whatever it is, that really gives you a foundation for being able to go out and take your empathic heart and move into some of the toughest situations and be able to really transform communities. So that's why we put that single certification together. And then the animals in transition, a lot of people, that's what we've been getting a lot of questions about. So that's, as I said, for people that are either have gone through the program, it's like a graduate program, or people that want to just focus on that. I say that it's like the animals in transition, midwife to mediumship, right? There's midwife to mediumship is really what it is. And we have some of that work we do in the Death, Dying, and Beyond part of the fall intensive, and that's part of one of the requirements for that certification. And then we are going to have a very special class in January where we go through all sorts of things, and in that class we will have lots of people doing the work. My brother. Hi, Mike.
Hi, just put your key right here.
Okay, thank you. So we have lots of. That's going to be a huge, wonderful, amazing course, and that has some prerequisites. So all of this is, we know that there's, the animal communication, the medical intuition, because a lot of times when you're in that dying stage, being able to do medical intuition and being able to share with somebody exactly how their animal feels helps them support their animal in this transition. So, and then of course the animals, AC level 4, our behavior, dynamic, and relationship course is vital for that, because, you have animals that are going to be transitioning out of relationships with other animals. There's all sorts that's involved with that. So we have a great prerequisite leading up to that. So if you've taken AC level 1, you can take, or if you've taken a workshop with me at a bookstore or back in the day before COVID, or if you've come to an intensive, then you're eligible for Animals in Transition level 1. But if that's what you want to do for a career, then there's a lot involved. All great, all fun. And that really, then we also have the nature and wildlife, which we're still forming, but we have some unbelievably great classes in the communication that we're doing the AC level 4 this fall in the zoos, rehab and conservation centers. That's obviously the vegan meat of the sandwich, if you will. So that, it's communicating with those animals. And again, some of the situations are heartbreaking and some of them are just hilarious because, people are fighting over primates are fighting over the baby, or, some tiger's holding out on sex. It can also be pretty normal stuff. It doesn't have to all be, learning to live with a broken wing and never being free again. So there's just a lot involved with all of it. And so our setup with the animal communication, medical intuition, and animal communication with behaviors, dynamics, and relationships is really if any one of these tracks, whether it's animal ambassadorship in the shelters or what have you, nature and wildlife, or the animals in transition track, you really need that basis of the foundational work. And I always say animal communication level 1 is it's the gateway to all of it. And the truth is, we've got, I love for people to be in the big program because you get at least one of those things for free. If you're in the teacher training, you get a good 5 extra classes. So there's lots of ways that people are able to do these things and see if that's where they want to go if they're in the big program. And the good news about the big program is that you have a skill set with all the energy work. So I'm always going to be a big program, which is Animal Mastery Program. That's the fancy name. That's the name that the marketing team uses in my world. It's the big program. So anyway, we had a flurry around all the new things being offered. But again, the way that you would end up working with me the most is in the more advanced stuff. in the big program, and it's yeah, it's all very exciting and lots of new stuff coming up. We have some new stuff coming up first of the year for the teachers, and yeah, I can't even, you know, school has been out and I've done nothing but meetings. I've been on Zoom almost as much the last week as I was while school was going, but that's going to end tomorrow because it's my birthday, and I'm going to sneak to the beach with the dogs, and then I've got some other little adventures planned that may involve whales or wild horses and rivers and things like that. So anyway, if there's any questions, yeah, I'm excited for things to start up again too. There's so many fun things, and I mean, I think one of the reasons people want things to start up again is because not only is the work great, the commitment is high on everybody's part, but it's also so incredibly the group of people involved is unbelievable. You know, and everybody loves to work with each other, so it's really great. And people are from around the world, so it's really something. So if anyone has any questions, now is the time. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Michael. Better late than not at all. That's right. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions about that whirlwind topic of the school, and you know, the truth is, getting on a call with Shannon is the best thing, because I can sit here and tell you like, oh my God, it's this, but Shannon really does her Virgo thing and chunks it down for you. I'm like, you know, 50 exclamation points. It's all fun. But she's really like, oh, well, you seem to be this sort of person, and this might fit with what you're doing. So she has some other punctuation in there other than exclamation points. Yeah, I think that's it. If anyone has any questions, and if you watch this later on and you want to pop questions into, you know, the comments, someone will come back through and answer them, either myself or Shannon. Definitely, you know, there's all ways to do this also. I mean, one of my things with doing the Facebook Lives, one of the reasons I love doing it is I feel like, you know, it's my give back, if you will. So there's always going to be little trainings and ways in which we can continue to learn without it costing $1 billion. But, you know, the people that are really committed and investing in themselves, then there's higher level, of course. And, you know, some people do one class here and one class there as they can afford it. Shannon makes unbelievable payment plans. I don't even know what they are. But we find ways for people to get in. And that's, you know, the more of you out there helping animals, the more the world is a better place. So we have all levels from $8 to $1 billion as far as trainings go. And also, I'm just going to say this. I just submitted my book last night, like the final. We're still waiting on illustrations, but my Emotional Freedom Technique for Animals book will be out August 2023. And at that point, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a book tour, so hopefully I'll meet people like Cassandra in person and Cindy, because I want to do a dog book tour on the East Coast at some point. But what I'm really hoping to do is not hoping, we are doing is creating curriculum for shelters and rescues to be able to use this work, the emotional freedom technique, to help animals in shelters and become more adoptable. And it really is going to be, the Empty the Cages book. Let's do it. So the more people that get the training now, you can be on this team of people that we're going to empty the cages. We're doing it. We are doing it. So anyway, it's an exciting time to be alive. Sometimes it's weird, but for the most part, it's pretty great. Um, there's weird around, but I just make a choice every day that I'm pretty lucky, and I'm grateful to be doing the work that I'm doing, and I'm grateful that all of you are part of it. And without you, we can't do it. I mean, we wouldn't have the same amount of just we need each other to move forward and help animals. So thank you. See you in about a week and a half or two or something.